Hello, so this is a quick Alteryx example of just prepping some data. So it was a real example. We tried to pull some sales information out of an accounting package and match it to some customer information and see what would come out. And it didn't really come out in a very friendly format and certainly would be very onerous to repeat this day on day or week on week, depending how often the company would need to run the data. So I'll give you a quick example of what this looked like. So if we go into the sales report, and again, this is all anonymized and changed and everything, but this is the exact structure that the data came out in. So we were trying to run, just basically a line item. So, a customer, an invoice number, a date, the amount, and what product was involved. And the way it came out, it's put the product on its own row, but it's not associated other than this sort of grouping. Even the product totals don't seem to have a product code next to it, so it's quite awkward. In terms of Excel, you could copy and paste in here, but I've only taken a couple of hundred rows of data. But you can imagine over thousands of products and everything. That's just simply not feasible. So this was the structure it came out, and as well it came out with the customer code instead of some customer information. So we'd like to join on that customer information. So I'm going to close out of that, and I'm going to jump to Alteryx just to show you how I did it. So the first thing is we'll grab the input data and we'll take this sales report. So you'll see how it's come through here. That gives us a sample of what it looks like. So the first thing is I probably want to get rid of all these product totals and everything. We can do that at a later stage in either Tableau or Alteryx in terms of summing the data. So I'm not interested in those. So anywhere basically where this column customer code is null, I'm not interested in for now. So let's grab the filter tool. Say customer code is not null. That's what I'm interested in. So these are the true cases, and then these are the false cases that I don't want. So you see it's taken out pretty much all the junk. The next thing is I want to be able to get this product code, even though it's in the wrong column. I want to get it into its own column first of all. Okay, so for that I'm going to use a simple formula tool. And I know that it's a product code whenever the invoice date or the invoice number is null. Okay, so I can use either of those fields to tell Alteryx that when this is null, I'm interested in this information. Otherwise, I'm not. Okay, so we'll create a new column called product. And we'll write a simple enough if statement. So if customer code, what do we want? We want invoice number, don't we? If invoice date, we can wrap that in and is null. So if invoice date is null, then I'm interested in the customer code. Else, I don't really want anything. So null is fine, and we can end the if. Okay, so it's still a string. If I run that, what I find then is I get a product information here, and if it's not a product, it just gives me null. So that's the first stage. You can see there binders kicks in, and then machines is the next one. So that's the first step of what I want. And now essentially what I want to do is fill this down. Okay, and for that I'm going to use a multi-row formula tool. One of the most powerful I find in Alteryx, certainly in the data prep side. It's really useful. So multi-row formula. I'm going to create a new field just for this. I could override a field, but for this one I'm going to create a new one. So we're just going to call it new product for this example. Obviously you could pick better names. I'm going to make sure it's a string and 40 characters. Okay, so again, it's going to be a conditional statement, so it's going to be an if statement. So we're going to say if, and really what we want to look at is if this has a product in it, then I want that product. Otherwise, if it's null, I want the previous row essentially. Okay, so we're going to write it slightly back to front, but we're going to say if is null. So if product is null, then give me the row -1 of this new field that we've created, new product. Okay. Else I'm interested in the product. So this is where it's not null. And we end the if. Okay, so if I run that, what I now get is where it's not null, it looks at the previous cell, so the row -1. So this is where the condition is not met. So it gives me the product in there. Where it's null, it looks at the previous row. So it fills this in until it gets to binders, and then it fills binders in until it gets the next one, and so on and so on. So a really quick way, a really repeatable way of matching, of taking that product code, which was in its own row and not really associated with anything. We've now sort of pivoted it out and attached it to the right row. Okay, so next thing we might do is we want to join on the customer information. So again, if I take another input tool and we take our customer code, and again, this is all, obviously I've anonymized the data, but the structure is real in terms of what we were able to get out of the system. So if customer code, I have a name and I have a contact name. So we're going to do a join. And we're going to join on the customer code. Okay, and then we might take a select tool on the end of that, just to say, we're not interested after we do this in the customer code. That's not important, but we've got the invoice date, and maybe we want the customer name to be first. So we've got name, invoice date, invoice number, the type, I don't need that. Don't need the unit price. Let's take the line description, quantity, and so on. And let's take the new product name and click run. So now you can see I have the name of the customer, the invoice date, the invoice number, the quantity they ordered, the net amount, what the product was, and who the contact name for that customer is. And then I could simply add an output tool onto that to spit that back out into Excel or back to a database or whatever I want. So a very quick example, but something real I came across, and I just wanted to show you how easily it was solvable in Alteryx, and then obviously how repeatable that would be. So as that sales report file gets exported each day or each month from the company, there's no need to rewrite anything or no copy and paste or anything. It's just going to run as a workflow. Thanks.